Hey guys, it's Morgan. Welcome back to Highland Cycles and our little shop vlog that we call the Shlog here in Western Colorado. I did not have the camera running because I didn't want to impose on him, but Johnny Walker just stopped by, which is awesome. He's with our friend Richard Cologne, who is part of the Beta team, off-road team here in the US, and Johnny is over here to compete in Endurocross for Beta, which is awesome. So anyway, he stopped by. Make sure you check out our Facebook and Instagram for that picture. I'll also put it up right here. Thank you, Johnny. It was awesome meeting you. You're a great guy. I really hope you do well. But this is our little shop vlog where we show you all kinds of cool dirt bike stuff, fixing things. Still waiting for the customer to pick up this RZ, so I might take it for another spin. Who knows? We just got done with the Death March. We had an absolute hoot out there. Even Mr. Sheets had fun, although his hands hurt him bad enough that he said if they were bleeding at one point, he was going to quit. Fortunately, they weren't bleeding. They were just hurting like everybody else. So he didn't quit, and he finished. We had a great time. 9 out of 11 finished. 2 mechanicals. One was a carburetor. Started leaking, and while we could have fixed it, we didn't have the time to fix it. So Adam, unfortunately, had to go back. And then the French bike, the Sherco, surrendered at about 100 miles. And we'd like to give Woody a hard time. That was Woody from Seat Time. Make sure you go check out his videos. I'll put a link in the description for his channel. Anyway, guys, first thing on the lift is this little KX65. If you want to watch what we're doing with that, stick with us. All right, so this KX65, customer put a new air boot on it, did a few other things, does not run right. It's just bogs, it won't rev out, it's just, yeah, it's not right. So I think there's something in the carburetor. Let's dig in and find out what's going down. All right, guys, here we go. Definitely looks like it was overflowing a bit. Of course, that could have been me pulling it out, but you can see there's some extra fuel in there. Let's pop this thing open and see what we find.
How did they get so many out and about?
Life will find a way.
Few of them.
Reproduce.
Cuttlefish?
Yeah.
Or no, like, I don't know. Cuttlefish are the ones that are like glow in the dark.
Alright, that looks clean. I gotta figure out what jet, it's a 180 that's in there. I gotta figure out if that's the right one to be in there. Oh, that is loose. That was not tight, so that could be causing all of the problem. Okay, so that was definitely almost falling out. Kind of surprised it didn't, honestly. Okay, I'm gonna go check and see what the specs should be on this KX65, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I checked the specs. It looks like we got the right jets in here. I think that pilot jet being loose was all that was causing it. So I'm gonna put it all back together, fire it up, and see how it runs. Because I ran it when they dropped it off, and it definitely didn't feel right, you know, it felt off. So I'm gonna give this a shot. All right, I'm laughing about it. Anyway, let me show you guys what's going on over here with Mr. Sheets. Look at him, he just runs away and hides. There he is. Working on a DRZ 400, arguably one of the more durable, like solid, just dual sporty kind of dirt bikes out there. This one, not so much. That's no bueno, and it's chewed that up. Where did you find the bolt, Sheets? Where is it? Oh, it's right. Oh, look at that, it's stuck. There we go. It's that one. And where did it come from? That's a good question.
It's one of the stator.
Oh, it's a stator bolt. What was that, Zach?
It's one of the stator bolts.
There you go. I make him talk. It's awesome. Gonna make Zach Sheets famous. So yeah, that is one. That is that bolt. There we go. Focus. Hate you. There we go. Damn it, Terry. So there is the bolt that came out, and then it did all the things in there and chewed up the stator. So probably just need a stator. I mean, the flywheel I think should be fine. If we clean that all up, it's pretty burly. Doesn't look like any magnets are popping out of it. So I think with a stator and a new gasket, it ought to be fine. Was this thing, it didn't run when it came in, did it?
I didn't try.
Yeah.
The battery is dead, so.
Okay, well, anyway, it's junk. So, yeah, we'll get that. Now, the stator on these is a charging coil and an exciter coil, because it'll run without a battery, I believe. I'm pretty sure. Actually, I don't know. You guys comment below. I can't remember. These might actually have to have a battery. So it might be a battery ignition, and then this just charges it, and then also has over here, it has the pulsar coil, the crank position sensor. So anyway, that's pretty awesome. Like seeing that. I mean, not like for him, for the customer, but it's kind of cool to see chewed up stuff. If you're a mechanic or you like working on things, you know what I'm talking about. All right, guys, so I'm working on my bike real fast after the Death March. I just washed it, lubed the chain. I just shot a huge dirt biker video about lubing chains. Anyway, you guys check that out. It should be good. Shouldn't be, I can't imagine there's gonna be a whole bunch of anger, but you never know. The people and their opinions, it's crazy. Mine too. Mine are just opinions, but I like to force them down your throats if at all possible. So, yeah, working on this thing, getting it dialed back in, ready to go. Tires are coming off. I'm finally gonna try out some Michelin Starcross 6, the intermediate soft, I think is what they're called. So gonna install those here maybe today, I'm not sure. I got another tire to change. Guy just dropped off that KX65. Sorry, forgot to check back in on that. It runs awesome with that pilot jet screwed all the way in nice and tight. So I guess there you go. There's a little tip. Make sure you get the pilot jets tight on carburetors. Usually that's not a problem, but that one came loose and it was causing that thing to run like absolute poop. All right, guys, next on the lift is this KTM 300. Yeah, it's 300. Anyway, guy is selling it, just wants to get ready to sell. The brakes weren't working, so I got that working. I tried to start it, won't start. The gas smells disgusting, and it's leaking out of the carburetor, so I think we need to clean the carburetor, no big deal. Took the seat off, and this is pretty awesome. You can see their air filter job consisted of them spraying the air filter where they could while it was installed. So, which is funny, because you just do this. Oh, good, they got some of that too, but they didn't. Ah, gosh, the air filter war is coming. That is ridiculous. Anyway, that's hilarious. So I'm going to take care of that also. Zach's coming over to look at it. Look at him. Yeah. Oh my gosh. By the way, guys, the new GoPro 11 came out. They have a creators pack. Who thinks that Zach Sheets needs to get that and start his own YouTube channel? It will be a very quiet channel. There won't be much noise on the channel. Not a lot of speaking.
Check in with you and let you know.
You can just watch Zach do things.
Is blown and wants to know if you want to do anything about it or just leave it like that.
Yeah. Okay, sweet. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought. It doesn't need to run though. All right, so he's not going to fix the shock. That's what Leander was just here. We're talking to him, seeing if because the rear shock, it does this. Here, let's see if I can show you. Kind of like a basketball. I'm sure we could dribble it and get the tire off the ground if we had enough force on it. So anyway, I'm gonna take the tank off. It smells disgusting. I wish you guys could smell it. So I'm gonna take the tank off, pull this carburetor, and I'll just show you. We'll see how bad it is. I've showed you guys how to clean these carburetors before. That's a key in PWK. These things are super simple and super good. So no need to go deep into that. But air filters, seriously, air filters. All right, real quick, guys, getting ready to take this carburetor off, but just want to know if anyone knows what something like this would be for. First of all, this is how this was. It was loose. But what's that? Why is that there? Anyway, I don't know. Yeah, who knows what we're gonna find. This could be interesting. All right, we got this off. I figured out where that bolt was to. There's a, what the hell is that? Why is that on this? Who did that to this carburetor? That's, I don't even know. Whatever. We're just getting this thing ready to sell. So, seeing what I'm seeing, I cannot recommend this for any of you to buy. I'll let this go to someone else. I don't know what's going on with this motor, but the motor feels like it's got plenty of compression, but I don't know. Anyway, let's take this thing apart. Yep, that's disgusting. This is going to the ultrasonic. Guys, got the got a CRF50 up here next. Not the last one we worked on, different one. But I have to show you something. So I went to drain the oil, and that's the drain plug. None. Literally none came out. I can't imagine this is going to go well. So the reason it's here, the main reason it's here, it needs lots of things, but one of the main reasons is that the Kickstarter just, it pushes the motor over, but it doesn't go back up. So we got a spring for it, a gasket and all that stuff. So I'm going to take that off, and then I'm going to, yeah, I'm going to see what's going on. I don't know. Because when it got brought in, it did leak some oil on the floor. So there was some in it when it came in here, but not a lot. So anyway, we're going to replace that. I'll show you guys what that looks like here in just a second. Then we got to do tires, or at least tubes, and got to see if it runs. So yeah, let's dive in and see how bad this thing looks. All right, guys, there we go. Got the cover off. There's this whole mechanism. I'll show you how that goes back together when we get it. Then this little guy is a selector that goes on there. You got to take that off. Now we got to take this clutch off and this ring gear off, and then it's right in here that is broken. So we will get in here. We got some Phillips head screwdrivers. Going to use an impact, a hand impact to get that off. Pull this pressure plate off, and there be a big nut there we can take off. Then we can get this circlip off, slide that off. Once we get that done, I'll check back in and show you what it looks like. All right, guys. So we got that cover off. You can see the big nut in there. It's a Castle nut, and this is a Castle nut custom built socket that I built years ago for Hondas. So this is going to go in here, and we're going to set the impact on that thing and buzz that sucker off. There we go. So this washer we can reuse. It's got more tabs, but the one broke off, which I figured was going to happen, but it's all still good. All right, now this is just held on with a circlip. It comes off. All right, now we have access. All right, we got another circlip on this. Now, there we go. And we need to, there we go. I found the other piece. Need to find the other piece that's broken, and I did. It's right here. All right, guys, got a new spring. Gonna install this sucker. And we're gonna take this here. Hold on. I'm gonna take this piece. I'm gonna put it on here, and we're gonna hook it onto the other tang, preload it, and then we'll be good to go. It'll help, obviously keep it from falling down, and yeah, should be ready to rock. So there we go. Push that in. Gotta go just a little bit further, so it's far enough to get past that groove. And let's see, check it here. Just get it on enough to, that feels good, and it's not too much. So now, I'm gonna take our circlip, put her back on there, hold that in place. We're gonna clean this gasket surface and then reinstall everything as we took it off. I'll bring you, I'll bring you guys back in when we go to put the clutch mechanism back together, the shifting. Anyway, it's kind of weird. All right, guys, sorry about the noise. It's raining outside, which is awesome. So anyway, we got this piece here. We're gonna slide it in like that. And we have this piece next. It's got a little spring. That spring is gonna go inboard. So the spring is going to go outboard. We're going to go like this. Actually, before we do that, we're going to have our shifter here. I'm going to put this on like that. And then we've got this next ball bearing piece like that. And then we're going to slide this on. I got to clean this gasket off, make sure it's all good. And then this piece goes on. And I leave, oh, there we go. I leave this last piece of the shift mechanism in here. And if you have a problem with this, if it doesn't want to stay in place, you can use a little bit of grease to hold it. But a lot of times it'll stay right there. All right, guys, we got the gasket cleaned off of that. Whoa, focus, there we go. Cleaned off of that and off this new gasket on. We got all this in place. Like I said before, you can put grease on those things to kind of hold them, but this one's staying in place, which is nice. Also, took this seal out. We have a new one, but I'm gonna leave that off, and I'll show you why, because it makes this a lot easier. We're gonna come on here. All right, guys, so you saw I put this cover on without the seal in it. It allows me to kind of just jockey that cover around and not worry about tearing the seal. So now, got a little bit of grease on that seal just to help it go over the shaft without tearing on these splines. Let's go nice and easy. Then we're gonna grab a socket that's the right size, just on the outside of that. Looks like a 19 works just fine. I'm just gonna go easy. There we go. All right, let's put our Kickstart on. We want to see the sheets fight. All right, got the little 50 all running great. It runs really well despite the fact that it did not have any oil left in it when I drained it or tried to drain it. Turns out I must have leaked it all out while it wasn't running. So that's good. That's ready to go. I was messing with the wheel because the outer race is still stuck in the other side. I was like, oh, let's take a look and see. And you can see here's the seal. It just, you can't put a seal in it. So that hub is junk. So it doesn't really matter that I just did that. I should have tried to check that first. He needs a new hub. So here's the thing, guys. These days, I'm not sure what a KTM hub costs from KTM. They're probably not cheap. But it's whatever that is, plus 2 hours labor to undo and relace and true a wheel. Or you can go to Warp 9, Tusk, or one of those other guys and just buy a whole wheel. Now, that's a better rim than what comes on those cheaper aftermarket ones. For sure, it's a DID, like nice, I don't know, Dirt Star rim, but financially it doesn't make much sense to just, to fix that one. Probably what I would do is get a new wheel hole assembly, take the parts off of that, the spokes, the sprocket, the rotor, the rim, put them in my garage, have them as spares in case something happened. That's probably what I would end up doing. But we'll let you know if we do rebuild that. Maybe I'll film Zach trimming wheels. He's really, really good at them, and just show you how that looks. All right, guys, speaking of Zach, I have to show you guys what Mr. Sheets got me for my birthday. Quite possibly my favorite birthday present I've ever been given, period, ever. So stoked. It's the tiniest set of pliers wrenches ever from Knipex. And yeah, I got them dirty because I've been using them on things because they're awesome. Check these things out. The slip joint doesn't require pushing any kind of button. It just, when you open it up, it closes, whatever. Anyway, these things are so freaking cool. Yeah, I highly recommend them. They open up to, let's see how far they open up. So max size is 22 millimeters. That's giant. And then obviously down to 0. But like kind of effective range, if you weren't just pinching tight, would be something like 5 or 6 mil, which is pretty sweet. Yeah, these things are so cool. I'm so excited. Thank you, Mr. Sheets. So stoked. Also, guys, tool spotlight. Pretty excited about this. I've been wanting a borescope for a while, and now they have something that's pretty cool. So it's by Matco. So we put our phone in like this. Now, looking into my coffee mug. And then it's pretty cool. It's obviously, like I said, it's a little delayed. You can take a picture. Anyway, guys, I'm super excited about that because the last borescope I had was a whole unit and the screen was terrible and all that. Now with the phone like that, you can really see it. And I'll bring you guys in next thing we get to look into. Because, yeah, I think it's super cool. It also comes with different attachments for the front. This one has a magnet on it. This one has a hook on it to, like, you know, if you drop something, you can hook it up. And then this one has a little mirror that lets you see 90 degrees. So these are super cool. Really excited, guys. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. It's 160 bucks, so 170, I think, with tax and everything. So pretty sweet. If you ever need a borescope, definitely take a look at the Matco one. It's awesome. All right, next on the lift is this KLX 300R. Nice little trail bike, solid little just kind of cruise around trail bike. But this gentleman wants to make it street legal, so he brought in all this stuff, and we are going to install it and make this thing legal. Right now, it's not legal at all. Neither of the tires are DOT. There's no horn, no mirror, no lights, no nothing. But I'm pretty sure that with this electric start system and fuel injection system, it makes plenty of power to run the lights that we need. Oh, okay, so we're working with like a 12, 13, something like that, 300. Service and suspension, and just put a top in. Things, you know, run really good. And then Zach found this. This is the lowering shim that they used instead of something that actually fits on here and holds the whole thing. That can't be, there we go. That can't be good. So yeah, we'll figure out a better way to do that. Did he want it lowered still, or?
I don't know. Yeah, give him a call.
All right, well, we got to figure that out because, yeah, that sucks. Anyway, back to the KLX here. Okay, guys, so we're working on this thing. We've got the wiring harness all run from the switch. Switch now works. Pew! Comes down underneath here, comes through here. Got it routed close to the frame wall. Zip tie this all up here in a bit. Then underneath this part of the frame, out into the battery. Now we've got our tail light mounted up. Looks pretty good, nice and straight. It's kind of tight underneath there, but I think it'll be bright enough once it's burning. Also now it's kind of protected, which is good. This whole thing is like torqued, so it's not super straight. I might try to like bend that thing up for him. He's had a few crashes, but so yeah, we're gonna wire this up. But I was going to take the brake light switch and put it here, but there's nowhere to put it because the way this frame, it's nice and protected, the banjo bolt, but there's no room for that switch to go there. So we routed the switch up here, and I think I did a pretty good job. I put the switch here, put the stock boot back over it, ran the wires out through that boot. Here are those wires now. We're gonna come down here. I'm gonna solder some extenders on, and then we're gonna come back to here. And now I gotta look at the schematics, but I think green is earth, and the other two are running and brake. And so we're gonna figure out which we do. And what we're gonna do is we've got power here, and we're gonna run one to the power and ground. One is gonna go to the ground. The other one we're gonna split into two. And we're going to run one power is going to come up to this switch and then back to the brake light. And the other power is just going to go to the tail light. So it's going to be kind of a little bit crazy wiring since we have to have that up here at the front, but it's going to work good. So once I get that all done, I'll bring you guys back in and show you all hooked up and how it works. All right, I think we got it all done. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. So check it out. We got on-off switch here. We turn that on. Light comes on. Tail light comes on. We hit the brake. Tail light gets brighter. There we go. I had to reroute this. I couldn't use that the boot because it put too much pressure on the wire. So anyway, got rid of that. We're going to tape this up. We'll make this look nicer. But then, so that's all working. Everything's good. But then we also have a horn here. Oh, it's crazy loud. But yeah, everything works good. We got it all kind of tidied up. I feel pretty good about the way it looks. Everything's tidied up, zip tied, out of the way. We can drop the tank right back down in here. So I think that's what I'm going to do is put the tank back on, get that all buttoned up, and then plastic buttoned up, and then we'll change tires, and then I think we're going to be good to go. This light's crazy bright, and we can adjust it. I don't know. Yeah, there you guys, you can see it. That's the adjustment. So it looks like it needs to come down a little bit. So I'll probably fiddle with that later. But yeah, I think that turned out pretty good. Yeah. Anyway, so button this thing back up, and we'll put some DOT tires on it. Next on the lift is this XR650L. I don't know what year it is. It doesn't really matter what year it is. They're all the same. Customer complaint was that it was running lean, popping on diesel and all that good stuff. Well, if we look here, we can see that it still has all the emissions junk on there. That is an AIS, or air injection system. Idea being that it dumps extra air into the exhaust port to help burn any excess fumes or whatever. Anyway, it's stupid. It's worthless. It doesn't do anything other than make the thing hot and feel like it's running lean. So we are going to delete that. I don't have a kit for that, but we're going to make one. You can do, actually, the super easy, quick way to do it is you can actually just unhook these hoses, because these go, if you can see, right here to the injection. There's another one right over there. Anyway, that's where it dumps the air into the exhaust port. You can just plug these hoses and just let them flop, but we're not going to do that. We're going to make that look a little bit nicer. So got these bolts loose, so that's loose. I'm going to take this thing off. Going to take those ports off of the exhaust, and we're going to build something to close those things up, put it all back on there, and we'll be good to go. All right, so I got the ports to the motor off, and the hoses all cut off. I don't have the hoses, do I? Oh, there they are. There's the hoses. Got them down to this. Took them to the grinder, cleaned up that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to find a bolt that's about that size, a little bit bigger. Hopefully you'll find one that's common. Then we're going to get a tap. I'm going to tap that hole for a bolt. Then what we'll do is get some JB Weld, the liquid stuff, mix up a little bit of that, put it on the bolt, run in there. Anyway, I'll show you guys what it looks like. And then that way that'll seal that up, and then I can just bolt these back onto the motor, and they'll be small and out of the way and look a lot nicer. All right, guys, looks like an 8 by, I think that's 125. I'll check that, but 8 by 125 is going to be good. It doesn't go in. So we should be able to thread that, run these things in. We're going to have to cut a little bit off of them because you can see they're a little bit long, even with those washers, but that's okay. Yeah, I'm psyched. That's going to work out really good. So let me dress these up, cut some threads into this, and then we'll be good to go. Just gonna dip this into that. Okay guys, so I got those all built up and they're drying, setting up, but it's the end of the week and the end of the Shlog, and I gotta go. I got a birthday party tonight for me and for Zach. Very excited about that. So sorry about that, guys. We'll check in next week. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notifications, get those turned on so that you know when we're back, so you can see how this turns out. I think it's gonna turn out great. I love you guys. I hope you get out and spread the gospel of two wheels. And I desperately hope that what we're doing here is inspiring you guys to work on, but more importantly, get out and ride your dirt bikes!